What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dice House and their DCUO commentary. I'm bringing you here. This is actually the last of the 3-4s matches that when we had with League versus League here. Same teams. This time we went into Star Labs. I want to apologize real quick before I continue on too far. I normally try to zoom out on the camera here so you guys get a full view of everything that's going on in the field. I like to be able to see more too. In this small little area here, this narrow path in front of the spawns on Star Labs, it makes it kind of pointless and useless to try and do that. Although I wish I had zoomed out a little bit further in this just so I could have seen a little bit better. I thought I'd use this video here though to give you guys some little like play-by-play talk about some of the tactics that are being used. Very first and foremost, and all that, when you go into a pre-made match in PvP, make sure you're going in there to have some fun. As you see right there, BC having a little bit of fun of me, put that barrel out there, blew up on me right in my face as soon as I went in there and lunged in at him. We were having a pretty good laugh in my group when that happened, and we had a good laugh after the match too when we came out of the arena. Now, for starters, okay, you come out here, okay. Now, because way PvP is these days, certain tactics have changed. I mean, it used to be, you chase down the healers all day, ground them, kill them, do everything you could. As soon as you got the healers out of the way, you could go and deal with everybody else on the team. It's not the way it is anymore. In all actuality, the first person you should be looking to take out is the DPS. Basically, because DPS, especially when you're going against somebody like Dude Dollars here, it was very good. His DPS hits really hard. You want to mitigate that as much as possible. Now, gear can only mitigate so much of it. The best way to deal with a DPS who's hard hitting is to try and make sure that he can't hit you as hard, or that he's otherwise occupied. Now, how do you do that, basically? Well, I mean, you want to go in there, you want to have your DPS and your controller at least on them the entire time. Tank is there as a secondary DPS. I always want to say real quick too, these strats can work for 5s as well. Although, in some 5s matches, you may actually want to concentrate on the controller first. So you'll swap these two around. But you want to have somebody back there throwing block breakers on whatever target you're focus firing, and making sure that you can get them down. As you saw right there when we got Doob down, I ended up getting up in the air somehow there. I got a little bit of altitude on him, and I just kept throwing block breakers down there until our troller and DPS could take him out. And then we immediately switched over onto Blazing Guns. There was BC playing on his ult. And that's basically how it went the rest of the match here. Now, as far as calling out focus fire and all that and everything, that is the DPS's responsibility. Calling out supercharges and all that, when to try and sync those up with everybody, and keeping track of who has them. That falls on one of the healers. And the controller is there to make sure that he's constantly giving power out to the group while also keeping the focus fire target debuffed. That's the main important role right there. And I think and it's funny because everybody gives me a hard time about me being flight still in arenas. I mean, I can still get away with it because I'm a tank. DPS, troller, and healers more than likely really can't. Because it's so freaking slow in combat. There's absolutely almost no way to kite at all with flight in PvP. It's kind of heartbreaking too, because I know for a fact Mr. E, Carlos, those guys were all I'm pretty sure Dupe too. They were all flight before respec tokens came out. So you come out in the match, you come out to the start of the match, you want to make sure you have your first target chosen. Alright, whether it's the controller or the DPS, you want to make sure you get that first target chosen. As regards to, if say one of the healers can't throw the block breakers down, that falls down back onto the tank then. To make sure that he's dropping back to do the block breakers. You see right there, we were able, as much as I wanted to go get in there and try and get on Carlos, Carlos is really good at pulling off them freaking, quick blocks on you to get an immunity. I didn't want that to happen, so I stayed back, kept throwing the block breakers down. And then the tank should always be the last, your last priority to focus fire in an arena. Simply because, one, I mean, tanks, when you're in a tank stance, our power is, reduced by 20%. So, or I'm sorry, not our power, our damage is reduced by 20%. So we're not doing, nearly as much damage as the controllers and DPS are. Mainly, what a tank should be there to do is to help, in regards to helping with the focus fire, though, is to make sure, one, because, majority of people in competitive PvP right now is super speed with their kiting and everything. You want to keep them grounded. The lasso, the iconic power for lasso, works wonders for this. It's not, I wouldn't say it's spammable by any means, but it's got a pretty quick cooldown on it, and the cooldown ends before the effects do. So, you got plenty of time to throw it back out there again if you have to, just to make sure you keep them grounded and everything. That way they can't run off and get away. Another thing too is kind of helping with the knockbacks and the knockups and the knockdowns while you're in there, keeping everybody having to basically kind of keeping everybody juggled and everything. As much as I'd like to be able to go in there and go ham all over a controller and everything. Right now, it's the way it works right now is just can't really quite do that yet, because the DPS are still going to be doing more damage on a controller than I will be in a tank stance, unfortunately. So I mean that's your main job, and that's why if the healer can't get any block breakers on the target, fall back, throw the block breakers out. Weapons to use this for, dual wield is the weapon you want to use. Dual wield is like the main weapon right now in this game for PvP. I know you see a lot of people with one-hander out there, and one-hander has got a really good block breaker, and it does a lot of really good damage. To me though, and a few other people, we've been talking about, dual wield is the block breaker is just not as quick. Plus, everybody's almost always either going for the 2-tap hold or the 3-tap hold, and it doesn't. It's pretty predictable most times. Even in 1v1 situations, it can get pretty predictable, and you can put some work in on a one-hander who lets himself fall into a steady rhythm of how he throws his combos and clips with his powers and everything. Now that's not to be said. The same can't be said with dual wield, but dual wield's got a faster block breaker than one-hander does. One-hander's still a hold, while dual wield is just a tap. So that's why I opt to use the dual wield. As much as I would love to be able to keep using brawling, damage just isn't quite there. It's got really good burst damage. Don't get me wrong. I love the burst damage on it. I get better burst damage with brawling. In fact, with the exception of spin chop with one-handed, I get better burst damage with brawling than I do with one-handed, with the exception of that one combo that everybody's always trying to use, and I always get blocked with anyway. So I'm not really that concerned in trying to use that. I mean, if it's not versatile enough to where I can use all the combos to effectiveness, I mean, there was really not that much point in using a weapon like that. I'm just not saying that one-handed is not a good weapon. No, it is a very good weapon, especially in the hands of somebody who is very good at it, has had a lot of practice. Other weapons too and all that, you'll see a lot of healers, especially in 5s, you'll see some healers out there with dual pistols that are doing that for the block breaking. my buddy SSJ Carlos got everybody kind of started on using the rifle a while back here. It's very effective too. Obviously, the rifle in the healer's hands and all that back there doing the block breakers is going to be doing some excellent block breaker work. Not to mention the fact that the lunge, if you go to farm, you got to farm a blue off of somebody who's doing block breakers on it. The lunge is it's a ranged attack with the lunge for rifle. So, you could end up lunging somebody doing block breakers on the other side of the room. And you don't even have to go near them. So, that's an option too for you guys to look at. Hand blasters. Man, hand blasters. Hand blasters, in my opinion, would be awesome for PvP, but they're just not that versatile, basically. And that's something you always want to look at is versatility. Hand blasters does do some good damage. I know the lunge and the uppercut, specifically for the melee combos, are huge hitters. Solar Flare used to hit really hard on the range attack with the range block breaker. It used to hit really hard until it got nerfed, I believe. That was a long time ago, though. I would like to see hand blasters get brought back in. Staff's a good weapon, although with the current situation with screen blocking and everything, and you being able to getting stunned by screen blocking, I don't see it as that good of an option for arenas, especially when you're in the middle of piles like you see right here. That you go in there trying to swing that staff around, all that. Somebody nearby holding block is going to stun you, no matter what you try and do. So that's why I don't think. For 1v1s, I can really see it. I can definitely see staff for 1v1s, but for arenas like this where you see these huge dog piles like that, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Two-handed. I like two-handed. I've messed around with two-handed a little bit. It's way too slow. Way too slow. And plus, not to mention the fact that the best combo in it, the hardest hitting combo, Mega Smash, does not hit nearly as hard as it used to. It's just not. It does not do the damage worth the how slow it is, in my opinion. That's just me. You see other weapons we're looking at. Shield. I wish Shield hit harder. I really do, because Shield is fun. Carlos actually messed around a little bit using Shield while he was healing in a couple of matches. Had a lot of fun with it. Really liked the block breaker and everything. Didn't quite do the job same job as pistols though, from my understanding. So, but the block breaker works like similar to martial arts. It's just a little bit faster than martial arts. Shield reminds me of like a mix of martial arts and brawling in this game, and I think that's really good. I think it needs to hit a little bit harder to be a little bit more of a viable weapon in the game. Because the combos, you can switch the combos up all sorts of different ways, and the block breaker is so easy to clip. It's beautiful. But speaking of martial arts, still a very good weapon. The elbow drop, hits hard. Very nice weapon to clip with. The block breaker, even though it's a hold block breaker, very fast and all that. Don't when you're in a situation where you're in the middle of a fight, don't try to do the shuriken spam out there. You will get knocked on your butt if you do. But let's see here. What other weapons are there that I haven't talked about yet? Bow. Bow used to be the go-to weapon for PvP. Everybody was using bow. Tanks, controllers, DPS, healers. Everybody was using bow. I wasn't using it, but everybody else was using it. But then a while back they buffed the melee damage on the melee weapons. They buffed the damage on melee weapons, and bow kind of fell out of there. It's still a good weapon. I've actually gotten a 1v1 with somebody the other night at Fight Club. Yes, I said Fight Club, not Game Club. Fight Club. Did a 1v1 with somebody at Fight Club the other night who was using bow, and normally bow's a fairly predictable weapon for me at least, whenever I'm going up somebody with it, and don't really have that hard of a time dealing with somebody like this guy. He worked me over pretty good. I gotta give him props for that. Another thing though, when you go into an arena, all right, if you agree to do a team deathmatch, do the team deathmatch. Don't be a cheesy little bastard and run off and try and grab the node beastie. Come on, son. uh, but I mean, it's all in good fun. They're trying to get a win in. This is the third match of that we had done in Force. They hadn't won yet, and I guess they decided to try and go out there and cap the nodes on us. So we just went over there and contested until the time ran out. I almost worked for him and all that, but I caught that out of the corner of my eye. You dashing out of there, Beastie. So nice try, buddy. But anyways, I hope some of these tips helped you guys out. If you got any other questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you liked the video, please do so by giving it a thumbs up. And if you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe. Until next time, you guys all take care. Bye.